Welcome to this video on district systems that matter in continuous improvement. This video was produced by the Lancaster Lebanon IU13, a leading education service agency which works in concert with the Pennsylvania Department of Education. Reproduction of this video is not permitted without written consent by IU13. This video has 3 sections. First, I'll introduce you to the concept of routines. Next, I'll introduce the types of routines for district administrators to develop. And last, I'll share tools that can support your development of these routines. Before we start, I want to recognize that every leader has a schedule that is overflowing. The demands on your time are never ending. So why should you consider routines? First, keep in mind, we're not suggesting that you add more on to your current work. Instead, I'd like to pose some questions to you. Are your current comprehensive plans being implemented? How do you know? Are your current goals being met? If so, can you point to the strategies that you're implementing as the reason? If not, do you know why not? While a lot of teams find themselves in Covey's time management matrix quadrant 1, it's quadrant 2 where teams begin to shift into becoming highly effective. But how do you move from putting out the fires in quadrant 1 to focusing on the items that are important but don't feel quite as urgent? Making this shift may feel uncomfortable because when we're focusing on putting out fires, we can see immediate results. However, this doesn't help us reach our vision, which may be longer term and is definitely going to take more patience. Sometimes the work in quadrant 1 makes us feel like we're helping people and solving problems. It makes us feel important. The work in quadrant 2 will lead to greater success for our students and our communities that they are actually going to lead someday. This video will share some ideas to guide you and your team to put quadrant 2 on your radar in a more deliberate way. This video on the development of routines is being shared as Pennsylvania's Theory of Action points out clear responsibilities of both the SEA, addressed by our statewide team for school improvement, and of the LEA. District-level teams set the stage for school success. Routines are a part of a larger system of district and school improvement. Districts matter. Therefore, Pennsylvania has identified 5 conditions and 12 essential practices for districts. The vision and actions of system leaders frequently determine whether principals can be effective in leading their school improvement. Without strong district-level systems and support, great leaders may be set up for failure. The district essential practices include these 2 practices that empower leadership by developing systems and routines to monitor both the implementation and the impact of comprehensive plans and school improvement plans. You are setting a culture of high expectations, which leads to success for all stakeholders. This is an opportunity to establish a clear system that ensures organizational improvement and coherence. There are 3 key elements for successful implementation of any plan: a clear and aligned plan, people to implement and monitor that plan, and systemized practices to ensure that the plan is implemented and having the desired impact. This is true for both district level and school level plans. This video will focus on the practices, and we'll refer to them as routines. Before continuing on with this video, I'll ask you to pause for a few minutes and reflect on the systems or the routines that your district administration currently has in place for monitoring the implementation of your comprehensive plans and of school level plans. Do you know if and how comprehensive plans are being implemented? If school plans are being implemented? Do you know if that implementation is having the desired impact? Do you know when there are challenges to that implementation? How do you decide what resources are needed or what collaboration among departments might be needed to overcome those challenges? Do you know when and how to adjust your plans? What routines do you have in place to monitor the impact of those plans? As James Clear has shared during many interviews about his book Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. This video will highlight systems that you can develop to support reaching your goals. I'll introduce you first to some routines that we recommend. Routines are intended to support the implementation, monitoring, and adjustments of an action plan. They're checkpoints regularly scheduled to assess if the implementation is on track. And routines are scheduled at regular intervals to ensure that you don't get too far along before knowing how things are going. Routines are engines that drive the implementation forward. The process for each routine supports the team in moving forward with that implementation. That could include planning for upcoming action steps or problem solving to remove barriers or create unique solutions to barriers. Each routine has a clear structure. This helps team members know what to expect and when to expect it. And there are fewer decisions about what to do during a routine, so the focus can be on the content of the work. Routines serve to monitor performance and collaboration on diagnosing and addressing problems. Each routine is an opportunity to check in and determine where the team is in implementing the plan or in monitoring the impact that the actions have had. If there are challenges, or if a team isn't seeing the desired impact, there's an opportunity for collaborative problem solving and decision making. Threaded across all intentions is the idea that teams are collaboratively engaged in diagnostic work that is solution-oriented. In other words, a routine is an opportunity to have the right people in the room having the right conversation at the right time. Now I'll share 3 types of routines for every district to develop. First is a tactical routine. This is where the people who are actually doing the work included in the plan check in to see if they're on track and to see what's coming next. They determine next steps to keep the work moving forward. Next is a status and solutions routine. We all know that plans rarely move along as expected. So this type of routine allows all team members to understand the status of the work being done and to determine solutions to any challenges that are being faced. Last is the impact and strategy routine. This routine happens less frequently and is focused on determining the progress that is being made on the desired impact of the work. Both comprehensive and school-level plans include goals. This routine is the time to determine if you're on track to meeting those goals. Now let's review the frequency of these routines. In order for something to be routine, it needs to happen at regular intervals. Here are suggestions for the intervals of district-level routines for monitoring comprehensive plans. The tactical plans are the most frequent since they ensure that the action steps are getting implemented as intended. They should happen on a monthly basis. Chances are this routine can take place at a time that the team that's working on this project will already be together. And there are digital tools to support this routine. Next, the status and solution routines. This is where a larger group comes together to review the progress of all of the different priorities and to solve challenges together. At the district level, this should happen on a quarterly basis. And last are impact and strategy routines. This is where you review data to determine the impact. At the district level, this can happen twice a year. In addition to monitoring comprehensive plans, district leaders are responsible for assuring that school-level plans are being implemented and are having the intended impact. If there are challenges to implementation, school teams might need support from district leaders. These routines ensure understanding and communication of those needs. They provide a time for schools to highlight successes also. District leaders are encouraged to schedule and or join 2 types of routines. First, create an opportunity to meet with school leaders bi-monthly for a status and solutions routine. This allows school leaders to report out on their implementation progress, to celebrate successes they've had, and to really articulate the challenges that need to be solved and what support may be needed from the district. Then join the quarterly impact and strategy routines at the school level. It's where the schools share out the impact that they're having according to the data that they've collected and have decisions and conversations about what happens next as a result. Now that you know what types of routines to develop, I'll share 3 tools that can support this work. In doing so, we understand that there are a variety of contexts in which you as district leaders work. For example, the size of your organizations may vary greatly. So for each strategy, consider your context. How might this strategy be implemented with maybe a large group of school leaders or district leaders? Maybe a small group, perhaps during a one-on-one conversation, or even virtually. As I mentioned, in order for something to be considered a routine, it needs to happen on a consistent basis. It is recommended that the LEA or district leader organize this work by creating a calendar and or implementing a routine roadmap of all the routines and ensures that members are clear on who's maintaining or leading and participating in each routine. I'll share some examples of how to do that. We all live by our calendars. Use yours proactively to plan the routines before calendars start to fill up. Consider including them in meetings that you already have scheduled. Send invitations or holds on calendars for routines at the beginning of the year before calendars get filled. It doesn't matter what system you use, simply that you add them to calendars so that they are prioritized on schedules. This roadmap example provides an opportunity to identify the type and frequency of each routine, along with the day and time that the routine will be held. Participants know what routines they will engage in, I'll show on my next tool, and they can see the schedule in one location. This roadmap helps to eliminate overlapping routines. This tracker document aligns each priority to team members, and it clarifies the role of each member. With this explicit team list, members understand the priorities they are associated with, as well as their role in the implementation of each priority. For example, oversight is the person to whom progress of the plan may be reported, but is not active in the details of implementation. The implementation lead leads the tactical routine and reports out at the status and the solution routines. Implementation members may be involved for the duration of the plan implementation or only during a period of time when their expertise is necessary. Let's move on to agendas. Agendas allow teams to be more productive with their time together. Clarifying roles and objectives on each agenda streamlines the conversations. Here's a few examples. This tactical routine agenda guides implementation teams to review previous tasks, identify successes, and problem-solve challenges to implementation. In addition, it guides a team to review upcoming tasks and to determine their next steps to ensure they are implementing the plan as scheduled. An implementation tracker, here's one example, is a project management tool that includes action steps for each priority and that allows the implementation team members to document progress on each step. The QR code in the bottom corner will take you to our website where you can find a copy of this tracker. But a spreadsheet isn't the only way to track implementation. You and your team already have tools that you are using, perhaps Teams project management or something like Trello. There are many out there. Make it easy for yourself by using a tool that you're already familiar with. During the status and solutions routine, there's an opportunity for each implementation team to add the status of their action steps to the agenda. This streamlines the conversation and it provides the opportunity to share successes and to determine what is needed to support the future work. The end of the agenda provides a table where next steps are clearly articulated. This next steps table can then be copied and pasted to the top of the following agenda so the team can review the status of the next steps that they had stated. Here's a sample for the bi-monthly status and solutions routine that district administrators would have with school leaders. The tables on the agenda could be completed ahead of time by the school leader. For each evidence-based strategy that's being implemented, the leader shares out the accomplishments to celebrate, the challenges they faced, and highlights the steps that they've taken. Knowing this, the district leader can determine ways to support the team to overcome those challenges, and they can have conversations about the possible need to make any adjustments. It's an opportunity to problem solve with the school leader. And again, at the end of the agenda is an opportunity to articulate clear next steps, stating who is responsible for what and by when. This helps to hold people accountable. Additional roles are added for an impact and strategy routine. The facilitator maintains the flow of the meeting and ensures that everyone's prepared and included. Analysts are individuals who prepare, understand, and can explain the data that is shared during the routine. Accountable owners are individuals who are knowledgeable about the work that's being done. They can offer information and answer questions regarding the implementation. The agenda could include a table to capture information for each target. It could also be organized by priority, and it could include points to guide the discussion of the impact that each plan is having, as well as upcoming adjustments that may be needed. Implementation of a high-quality plan is more likely to lead to impact. The tools that I'll share next offer examples of ways in which implementation team members can track their action steps, and leaders can maintain knowledge of levels of implementation, as well as keeping an eye on meeting targets and goals. While the examples that I'm going to show have been built in Excel and/or Google Sheets, multiple project management tools are available. One example of a process is to create a dashboard where all administrators can see the priorities that each school is focused on and the priorities for the district overall. Within that dashboard can also be included the status of action step implementations. Consider how this might influence the way in which you support schools. How might it be helpful to have a view of all schools' priorities on one dashboard and to know where all schools are in succeeding with their action plans and where more support might be needed? And within that dashboard, an area can be created to keep an eye on the percent of goals that are reached, both for district goals and school goals across the district. This video offered an introduction to routines that can be used to support the monitoring of implementation and impact of both comprehensive plans and school-level plans. You can find more information at the IU13 website for school improvement. The URL and QR code are shown above. Thank you for watching this video. If you have additional questions or would like to talk to a member of the statewide team for school improvement, please email us at pdecsi@iu13.org.